Chris, Coach, thank you very much, and welcome to what is unquestionably one of the best rivalry games in college basketball. You are watching the ACC on ESPN, and it is alive here at the KFC Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. We got Lexington and Louisville. We got Cats and Cards. We got blue and red. And we got Chris Mack's first game in this rivalry. His first year as the head coach of the Louisville Cardinals. John Calipari, of course, the head coach of Kentucky. This is one of the games on the calendar that fans, especially here in the Bluegrass State, they circle months and months in advance, and it almost always lives up to the hype.
Well, this is one of the best rivalries, not only in college basketball, but in all of sport. And really, it's not just a rivalry, it's a blood rivalry. Yeah. And especially among fans here in the Commonwealth, there is hatred between Louisville and Kentucky. And this is a game where the players can't just come ready to play. They have to come ready to fight. This game will be decided in the paint, and the battle begins when the ball goes up on the glass. If you don't rebound, you don't win.
Both coaches talked a lot about toughness, togetherness, 50-50 balls, winning the little battles that they will need to win in order to win this game. For John Calipari's Kentucky Wildcats, it's their first true road game of the season. And for Louisville, a team that has a big win already this year. They beat Michigan State. They also beat Seton Hall. A win here today would be a statement victory, especially against a Kentucky team, Jay, that is coming off a win over North Carolina their last time out.
Louisville has been in every game they have played. Very competitive. Can they be competitive on the glass against a team that likes to play inside out and dominate the paint? That's going to be the key.
Dan Shulman, Jay Billis, Dan Dockich is with us as well today, and we are underway here in Louisville with the Cardinals getting the first possession of the afternoon.
Key matchup, P.J. Washington guarding Jordan Nwora, who has been as hot as any player in the country over the last 5 games, averaging 20 points, over 10 rebounds per game, 56% from 3 over the last 5.
Yeah, he's really become the alpha dog of this Louisville team, the only player in double figures on the season, and the three will go down for Darius Perry to give Louisville the early lead. Interesting matchups at this end of the floor as well. Nwora on P.J. Washington. Keldon Johnson gets free, and he rattles home a 3 to tie it up. And he's talking to Dwayne Sutton on his way back down the court.
That's 11 out of his last 15 from 3. As hot as Jordan Nwora is for Louisville, Keldon Johnson just as hot for the Wildcats.
Perry with a drive over Tyler Hero. Perry's got all 5 in the early going for the Cardinals.
Darius Perry is speed personified. Quick, fast, and right now completely in attack mode.
Johnson with a shot fake. Good D by Sutton to stay in front of him. Kentucky really looking to get Hero going. He's averaging about 15 a game his last 5. Percentage is still not where you'd expect them to be. Beautiful feed inside from Ashton Hagans to Reed Travis.
Well, Hagans got the switch and immediately looked inside to Travis. And Reed Travis has been a different player in a Kentucky uniform than he was in his Stanford uniform. Starting to play above the rim more often.
Has trimmed down a bit, has become a little bit more athletic, and gives them a lot of experience, obviously, although this is his first time in this rivalry, of course. And we get a foul going against Louisville as we bring in Dan Dockich, who is courtside for the first time ever at a Kentucky-Louisville game, Mr. Dockich.
Oh, man, this is my favorite rivalry in college basketball. Jay, you said it already. Play inside out. There's a lot of ways to get the basketball inside. You just saw Hagans drive it. Both teams are going to get the ball inside, not only by throwing it, but by driving the ball into the middle, getting the ball into the paint.
And you see a veteran move by Dockich. Like me and Billis, we all made sure to neither wear a red nor a blue tie today. We're all neutral. Tied at 5, just over 2 minutes in. The left-handed lay-in goes for Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero is more than just a shooter. And oftentimes for a guy that has not been shooting as well as he's capable, getting something easy off a drive can get you going.
He was the leading scorer for Kentucky in that summer tour down in the Bahamas. And here he is with a rebound and bringing it up the court for the Cats. Keldon Johnson to baseline, and he draws the foul.
Oh, he stepped out of bounds.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
but it was a smart drive to get the ball to the rim against Stephen Enoch. Really good move here by Tyler Hero, moving all the time, but he sets a screen, then gets a screen. A little screen for the screener action, and instead of settling for the jump shot, he attacked the closeout by Kristen Cunningham, and that's exactly what you have to do against Cunningham. That's a key matchup. Cunningham is a grad transfer. He knows how to play, and he's tough.
Here comes a little bit of pressure from Kentucky. And keep an eye on number 2 in the blue, Ashton Hagans, a superior defender. He had 8 steals last week in Kentucky's win over North Carolina.
You know, Dan Dockich will appreciate this more than most, that oftentimes we talk about guys having breakout games with the way they score. Well, Ashton Hagans has had his breakout with defense. You don't have to just do it with points. You can do it other ways, and that's what Hagans did.
There's a block called on Hagans.
Hey, Jay, you know, the thing that Hagans did in that North Carolina game with those 8 steals is he did them in a variety of ways. He did it in full court. He did it in half court. He did it at coming back to the basketball. It was really remarkable. 8 steals, really 8 different ways.
And limping a little bit, guys, after getting called for that foul. Hagans has supplanted Emmanuel Quickly as the starting point guard for Kentucky. Quickly a better shooter. Hagans a better defender.
And Hagans, you can see right now, he's got great length. That ball should have been picked off. P.J. Washington had a chance to get that. And when you have a chance, you got to get it.
3 minutes in, 2-point lead, Kentucky. Darius Perry with the ball, and all 5 points so far for Louisville. Has it taken away by Washington.
Got the switch, couldn't take advantage of it.
Hagans over the top, and Washington finishes.
Which P.J. Washington will Kentucky get today? He has had 5 double-doubles on the season. In those 5 double-figure games, he has averaged 22 points and 12 rebounds. In the other 6 games, he's averaged 7 points and 6 rebounds.
Jordan Ward, the sophomore from Buffalo, almost 18 points per game on the season. And both teams knocking down shots here in the early going in Louisville. Hero jump stop, soft touch, and it goes.
Louisville is going to have to keep plugging all game long. You know that Kentucky is going to get some offensive rebounds, but they've got to limit them as much they can to one shot and keep Kentucky out of the paint.
Perry almost slipped, now turns it over, ball still loose. And it'll be a held ball. The arrow will turn it over to Kentucky as we go to our first media timeout here in this rivalry game. And a good start between Kentucky and Louisville. Really good start here in Louisville. Kentucky leading the Cardinals 11-8, just over 4 minutes in. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, and roaming free on the court at the moment is Dan Dockich.
Hey, thank you, Dan. My friend Grant and I are going to foreshadow a little bit about what Louisville wants to do. As Jay's been saying, get the ball in the paint. I'm the big, he's the guard. They do a little rub action here. It's not really a screen, it's just a rub. It frees up a side to allow the point guard to have an entire side to the bucket with a shooter in the corner. The emphasis, as Jay has been saying, is to get the ball into the lane. This is one way in transition. It's like a pick play in the NFL with wide receivers. You're going to see that coming up here soon.
Yeah, they've been switching that to start the game. That gives you an opportunity with the guard to have a big on it. And one of the things that Louisville's going to have to do is attack that matchup, make the big guy guard pick up some fouls, because as Dan knows, both of these teams shoot a ton of free throws, so you have to play really good defense without fouling. You cannot put your opponent on the free throw line in this game.
Yeah, both teams have made more free throws than their opponents have attempted. Always a benchmark of whether or not you're getting to the line a lot. Quickly is now into the point for Kentucky. Ryan McMahon, Malik Williams, both in for Louisville. Both of them checked in just prior to the last time. Now, what a steal by Ward.
Ward was fronting, and Hero did not throw the ball up to the square. He tried to pass the ball inside to his teammate instead of just throw it up to the basket, let your teammate hold off and go get it.
Williams, big guy, but he can shoot the three, so Travis way out on him. Now Kristen Cunningham has it rejected by Hero, who's off to a great start this afternoon.
Louisville needs to throw some shot fakes in. Right now they're trying to get everything off the initial action. Shot fake, get them in the air, and then attack.
The crowd trying to help the Cardinals dig deep on defense right now. Kentucky's 5 for 5 from the field. Johnson open for three, around and out.
Tyler Hero has shown in this game he is much more than a shooter. He's defended very well to start this ball game.
Cunningham knocks it down. A grad transfer from Sanford who's brought a lot of consistency and stability to the point position for the Cardinals.
Cunningham has been rock solid.
And they're on their feet. At least the folks in red are here for Louisville. Obviously largely a Louisville crowd, but there is a fair bit of blue here in the building today as well. Hero baseline, kicks it back out, ball's loose, and tap back out by Travis. 6 to shoot. Quickly forces it up.
That was great defense by Williams on the backside, guys. Williams took away the post, and then he got back to his own.
How about Cunningham scooping it up and in?
The best way to start your offense is to play really good defense. And that's exactly what Louisville did on that last possession, and all of a sudden their offense gets a lot better.
Johnson nowhere to go. Good defense by Sutton. Shot fake by Hero, and he buries a three. Confident young man from Milwaukee puts Kentucky back on top. Boy, both teams coming out early and making shots here in this rivalry game. Kentucky blew out Louisville last year in Lexington, but a lot of changes for both teams, of course. Here's a steal by Quickly and an easy layup.
There's a little drag screen in transition. And a poor pass. Anytime you're throwing it backwards, you are inviting a deflection and taking it the other way.
Jay, anytime you throw a pass with a hump on it against Quickly or against Higgins, it's going the other way. It's got to be sharp. It's got to be fast. And as you said, it cannot be behind you.
Hero guarding Ryan and McMahon, who's got almost limitless range from the perimeter for Louisville.
Good hesitation.
Left hand, and Cunningham is getting to the glass, getting to the paint, and lays in another one.
He came right off shoulder to hip on that ball screen. And that hesitation move just froze the defender, got by with the left hand. That was beautifully done.
Washington, nice look to the corner. Johnson misses the three.
Well, Louisville got lucky there. Jordan Wara gambled and left a wide open jumper in the corner.
Now Chris Mack, the first-year head coach here at Louisville, calls out a play, and Cunningham sets him up. Washington doing a good job staying with the war out on the perimeter. Now a screen by McMahon, of all people, but a three is way off for War.
Louisville needs to start shot faking. A shot fake will get the Kentucky defender in the air. But terrific job on this pass and follow ball screen. And then that little hesitation move just froze Reed Travis. And then Cunningham able to get it right into his chest and off the glass with the left hand. That was beautifully executed by Kristen Cunningham.
Both coaches just made multiple substitutions. Good pace, a lot of adrenaline. And you can probably get winded in a hurry in this kind of a game. Jamal Baker in for the first time for Kentucky. Nick Richards has checked in as well. Quan Four, another grad transfer. There are three of them on this Louisville roster. Four comes from Richmond, and he has come into the game for the first time. That's him with the ball.
So far, the game has been played hard but clean. Only 2 fouls total thus far.
Step back three. Offensive rebound, Stephen Enoch. Well, would you have liked to see him try to back down Richards there instead of kicking it out?
No, when the double came, he did exactly the right thing. And he oftentimes will go to that jump hook there. Great shot.
A little bit too strong for War off the back of the iron, and here come the Cats.
Well, he hardly ever misses those when he's that open. Wara has been on fire over his last 5 games. He is really a good player.
Higgins, off-balance runner, and Four might have gotten a piece of it. Four's a really good defensive player.
And that's not the game of Ashton Higgins. Well, that was forced.
Enoch for three. He's a very skilled big man, still a little bit raw. Higgins driving, and he draws the foul on Ryan McMahon. We'll step aside. 1-point lead, Kentucky here in Louisville. It's the day we've all been waiting for. The college football playoff semifinals are coming your way a little bit later on today, both on ESPN. Clemson and Notre Dame on the Cotton Bowl at 4 Eastern. And then #1 Alabama against Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Both games also available live on the ESPN app, so you can watch them literally anywhere. As we check out a quarterback comparison for the second game tonight for the Orange Bowl, Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa, both putting up remarkable numbers and finishing 1-2 for the Heisman.
Tua, I think, is the better drop-back passer, but Kyler Murray is the better hitter.
That's true. And the better outfielder, yes. and that's a topic for another day. Will he be in Oakland A, or will he wind up in the NFL?
But he wasn't definitive on playing baseball. Now maybe he's just in a football mentality, but we're trying to squeeze out a few extra bucks.
Doc, who you got? Which game is more likely to have an upset today? First game or the second game? Higgins is fouled by Sutton. Dockage, where are you?
I'm in the corner here staring at Chris Mack. Wearing something on my head.
Dan Dockage roving around the Yum Center today over near the Louisville bench right now as Higgins heads to the line for Kentucky.
Well, how good was Ashton Higgins against North Carolina? He had 7 points, 8 steals, and was so good defensively. It wasn't just the steals that he had. He took Kobe White and took White out of the game. Picked up 94 feet. He was everywhere and really keyed the defensive effort by Kentucky to win that, a game that really, for confidence reasons, Kentucky had to have.
And a recent change for Kentucky with Quade Green announcing that he is transferring out. He has since said he's going to go play at Washington next year. So the rotation is a little bit different. Jamal Baker now getting some time, but Higgins also at about the same time taking over for Quickly as the starting point guard.
Hey guys, when I was over by the Louisville bench, the thing that Chris Mack was screaming, and it didn't happen, was to keep the ball out of the lane. He was yelling, get the ball on a side and keep it there. And that's huge in this game, as you've seen. Kentucky right here trying to get it in the middle of the court.
Higgins misses the pull-up, long rebound, tip right back out to him. Another offensive rebound, this time it's Richards. Baker's open for 3, and that is going to burn Chris Mack. Number 1 on the Louisville chalkboard today was keep Kentucky off the offensive glass.
Well, the first thing was you didn't get the loose ball. When you don't get the loose ball, everybody's in rotation, and then you give up a offensive rebound to Nick Richards. That leads to a wide open 3. Boy, what a play by Richards. He went straight up. I think Montgomery got the foul call. But this all came from the fact that there was a loose ball there, and Darius Perry didn't get it. You don't get the loose ball, you're in rotation, then you get the offensive rebound. The great kick out extra pass by Hero. Best time to shoot a 3 after an offensive rebound, because the defense is thinking about going to offense. They're not thinking about more defense.
So Nick Richards making a good play at both ends of the floor, but on the line for Louisville is V.J. King, who's the only returning starter from the Cardinals team of a year ago. But I guess that comes with an asterisk right now, because he was a starter last year, but he's no longer a starter this year. He's coming off the bench, put on about 20-25 pounds. What are you looking for? What is Chris Mack looking for V.J. King to get to that level that people think he has in him?
I think V.J. King needs to just free his mind and come out on the court and play. He's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders right now, and it's been a little bit of a struggle. He's had a loss of confidence. So you hate to say crisis, but there's a little bit of a crisis of confidence for him. But he just needs to throw himself into the game, dive on the floor, make a defensive play, get a defensive rebound, and not worry about anything. Just play to win.
Hero driving on Cunningham, off the glass and good, and Hero's terrific play here in the first half continues.
Not just catch and shoot. I mean, he is playing a complete game. He's got a block in this game, got a steal. He's long-armed. He's done a great job defending. Right now he's on Dwayne Sutton.
He's the exact opposite of what you're talking about, V.J. King. He is just playing. He came down right in front of me, and he looked so confident, Jay. He looked so comfortable standing here. You knew he was going to do something good.
He's been making every shot in practice. It's just in the games that he's been struggling a little bit. Almost got away with a shuffle there, but he's got a wide variety of skills. He is not just one of these catch-and-shoot shooters that you make him put it on the deck. He's a scorer.
Well, you and I both talked to Rex Chapman before the game. He's a lot like Rex Chapman. I mean, he is not afraid to go. He doesn't care the situation.
Foul over the back going against Kentucky, trying to come up with a rebound. Here's Tyler Hero. As we mentioned, his numbers over the last 5 games, better than 15 points per game. He's at 12.4 on the season. He's already got 9 points today on 4 for 5 shooting.
And we share the same nickname. That's kind of unusual.
Boy wonder.
Exactly.
I thought you had patented that.
No. I let other people use it. But.
I thought you were the new Bob Knight with all the shot fake talk.
Hey, it works, man.
It does.
Once they see a flyby, they'll keep doing it.
Cunningham and Perry responsible for much of the offense in the early going for Louisville. They've combined for 12 of the 17.
A little slice cut, stagger.
See, even there, though, Jay, you're talking about Hero. Hero made a great switch and got right on top of Cunningham and beat him to the spot. Now, the foul was opposite, but you're so right. He's playing both ends. He paid attention to the scouting report.
Right now, Louisville needs to run things a little bit quicker. Just locking and trailing. And that's, these are the fouls on screening actions that if you sell the call, you can get that easily.
And it was Washington getting called for the foul. He remains on Award, the leading scorer for Louisville.
11 minutes in, you and I haven't whined about the officials yet. That's a record.
It's coming.
Who had the over?
Higgins with a steal. And then a tough bounce pass in traffic. It stays with Kentucky.
That's a good call. Telling you that's a good call.
You're closer to it than we are.
Yeah, we were right here. A lot of people jumped up, but you're going to see this is a good call. Right off of the shin.
Yeah. Hit Washington, then it hit Williams.
Yep.
I'll tell you, Dockich is earning his money today, isn't he? 5-point lead, Kentucky. Again, their first true road game of the season. The Wildcats have won 9 of their last 11 against the Cardinals. Johnson with a floater. How good is this kid?
He's a top 10 pick. I mean, he's an absolute stud. And he's so consistent. He does it every game. We talked about P.J. Washington. He's had up and down. He's either great or he's not so great. Keldon Johnson is really good every single game. Got to switch.
And Williams gets held on the inside.
You know where that ball went? Down on the Florida side, in the middle. Kentucky got it in the middle.
Got a New Year's Eve triple header for you. Monday on ESPN at noon. It starts off with Cincinnati and Virginia Tech in the Military Bowl. 3:45. Mizzou and Oklahoma State in the Liberty Bowl. And then at 7:30, NC State and Texas A&M in the Gator Bowl. All three live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. That was the second foul on Higgins. We'll keep an eye on that as Ryan McMahon, who has yet to be a factor so far in this game, turns it over.
Well, Ryan McMahon was about to get a screen where he cut to the basket. Instead, went out to the corner, gave a little shot fake. But again, well defended by Tyler Hero, who has shown very well on the defensive end of the floor in this one.
You saw Higgins on the bench after picking up that second foul. It's what John Calipari will normally do. So quickly back into the point. Reed Travis with a jump hook, not there. Loose ball, bounces out to Hero.
Boy, that was gang rebounding on the offensive glass. Keldon Johnson, P.J. Washington. As soon as that shot went up, the blue was just attacking the rim.
Kentucky gets better than 41% of their misses on the offensive glass.
Third in the country.
And it winds up eventually in a bucket for Travis.
Travis gets so low when he posts up. If you're going to try to get around him, he's going to seal you off and get an angle. And you cannot sell out on the baseline side. You have to stay between your man and the basket and make him make a shot over you.
This is the largest lead of the game right now for Kentucky. They have stretched it out to 9. McMahon can't get it off. Williams can shoot the 3. And a good rebound in traffic by Washington. Johnson stumbling a little bit. Couldn't get the shot off. Hero can and buries it. Timeout Louisville as Kentucky's lead is now a dozen. It's a 9-0 run, and Tyler Hero's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Kentucky on a run. They have up their lead to 12 over Louisville. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, and now in the paint is Dan Dockich.
Well, Dan, I got to show you what Chris Mack is going to be hostile about when he watches the film. Watch 33, Jordan Warrior. You've either got to be locked to your man, and if he goes opposite, ready to help. The help line is right in the middle of the lane. If the ball's over there and my man's over here, I got to be here early against these big guys from Kentucky. Jordan Wara gets completely lost on his man. He stands over here. Next thing you know, Kentucky's dunking. And then the next time down the court, the leading scorer and best player doesn't really hustle down the floor. Kentucky keeps the ball moving, eventually gets a wide open shot. by Hero. This has to be corrected. Best player war has got to be better.
You know, the further you are away from the ball as a defender, the more you can help. And right now, Jordan Nwora hasn't been as active and alert as he needs to be. But he needs to get going on offense as well. Sometimes when you're a scorer, when your offense isn't going well, it can affect your defense. Now, no coach wants to hear that, but Jordan Nwora has only got 3 points in this ballgame. And Kentucky's done a terrific job of taking him out of the game, most notably P.J. Washington. When he's been guarding him, he has been excellent.
Louisville 9-3 on the season. Their only losses to an outstanding Tennessee team, and also very close losses to Marquette and Indiana. A 1-point loss on the road. Enoch with a good offensive rebound, but then he missed a chippy. And Kentucky a little bit fortunate. Ryan McMahon missed a wide open look from the corner.
After a great shot fake, got the flyby. You know, Ryan McMahon is such a good shooter, but you really have to make him put the ball on the deck, make him make tough twos, make him dribble it and finish inside of that three-point line.
I was talking to Rick Bozich about McMahon. They say he's making absolutely everything in practice. Can't miss.
He did not miss yesterday in practice. It was really impressive to watch.
He's only missed 2 free throws the whole season, 31 out of 33.
Well, good patience by Kentucky to get the ball inside on the opposite side of the floor. They ran a little cross screen, down screen for the screener action. It wasn't there for Hero, and then they went right into P.J. Washington, who is having a really good game, but primarily because of his defense on Jordan Nwora.
Hate to pick on a kid, but Cal knew exactly what we just talked about, that Nwora is not wanting to play defense today, so he went right at him, this time on the block as opposed to, like you said, Jay, help side.
Well, John Calipari is going to exploit matchups every game he plays.
4, shot fake, missed the jumper. Offensive rebound, though, for Sutton.
Good pass. Now, 4 passed up an open shot. He gave a little shot fake when he probably should have let that one go.
Does not get it into Enoch. Instead, the reverse will go for Quan 4.
Boy, what a pretty shot by Quan 4. I can never figure out why he chose that number.
It'll come to you. And the first bucket in a long time for the Cardinals revs up this crowd a little bit.
Got to get a stop here. You want to get momentum at home, you have to follow up a score with a stop.
Johnson, no, and off a couple of legs, out of bounds.
Looked like they got a foul. Yep. Stephen Enoch with a terrific block out. And that's what it's going to take. Every time a shot goes up, that's when the battle really begins. The game within the game. Whoever dominates the glass. What was it Pat Riley said years ago when he was with the Knicks? No rebounds, no rings. Well, no rebounds. You're certainly not going to have a win in this one. Terrific block out by Enoch. He got the foul on Reed Travis going over the top.
Just the first on Travis.
Little horn set up top.
Nwora stumbling a little bit, and what a block by Washington.
Trying to go ISO, and Washington able to recover with the great block. His length and athleticism making the difference.
Boy, how good have Hero and Washington been in the first half for Kentucky. And now a reaching foul going against Louisville. Sutton can't believe it was called on him. And all Chris Mack says is wow.
Hey, the ball was dribbled off Sutton's foot, I believe, before the foul came in. Pretty good help by Sutton right here. It was dribbled off his foot, and then Sutton reached in.
Yeah, it was gone. So by rule, that's really incidental contact.
And a tough one because it's his second, and it sends him to the bench as King is back in.
If I'm Kentucky, I'm going right at Nwora again. Post, out here, whatever you want to do. Drive him or post him.
Good ball movement by Kentucky so far today. Everybody getting a touch. Shot clock down to 2.
Oh, what a play.
Offensive foul.
Offensive foul? Wow.
Now quickly looking for an explanation.
That's not an offensive foul. That's a foul, period. There was not legal guarding position there. He was going toward the basket.
I thought he might have stuck a hand in there as well.
That's crazy.
Wara just 3 points today, 1 for 5 in the afternoon. The guy with the ball right now, Cunningham, is the leading scorer. Missed the last game against Robert Morris after suffering some concussion symptoms. Over the top, and Enoch will slam it home.
He caught that on the way down. That was in the middle of the floor. Eliminate help. 2 guys on the ball. Just throw it up.
Baker, and he gets called for using the left arm, pushing off.
That was a great call. That was a ward-off with the offhand. But Louisville with a couple of stops, couple of scores. The little handoff action and slipping the screen. 2 guys on the ball. Help eliminated. Louisville back in it.
Offensively, and they're more connected defensively.
Dan Jay will see at the half.
All right, guys, looking forward to it. Thank you. 10-point lead here for Kentucky over Louisville. Kentucky coming off the win a week ago over North Carolina. Trying to come up with an impressive road win here today. Go to 10-2 on the season. Little run, though, the last couple of minutes from the Cards. And out of bounds is Enoch.
Tyler Hero was the one that made that play. He made the catch by Quan Four really difficult on the wing. He extended everything, and then the ball went inside. All of a sudden, it's double teamed. And you got to get that ball out quickly. But nobody presented themselves to Enoch to be able to give him an outlet to pass the ball out.
It's now 7 turnovers committed by Louisville. Kentucky doing a lot of this with Higgins on the bench with 2 fouls. Pull up Johnson. And Travis called for another foul. That is his second.
Too many cheap ones for Reed Travis.
They'll send him to the bench for the last 2:34 of the half. Thursday, undefeated number 2 Michigan hosts Penn State in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines have dominated this matchup, winning the last 7 against the Nittany Lions. This one's on ESPN and the ESPN app at 7 Eastern. Let me get the opinion of both of you. Dakich, let's start with you. You've seen them in person a couple of times. What impresses you the most about Michigan this year?
Well, how they just jumped right back in after going to the national championship game and losing a bunch. Iggy, the freshman, has been sensational. John Beilein has made Xavier Simpson a captain, and he has led a defense that can smother you. I think personally they should be the number 1 team in the country. I think they're playing better than anybody. I don't know that they're the most talented, but I do think their resume is as good as any. Undefeated. It's going to be a heck of a night.
In the past with Michigan, we've always talked about offense, their ability to generate points, but they're the best defensive team in the country right now. They've been spectacular on the defensive end.
Jay, it all started a year ago. Brought in assistant Luke Diakolich, and kind of John Beilein gave it to him, and next thing you know, they're as good as any.
Yeah, brought him in from Illinois State.
Yeah.
And now he's got essentially a defensive coordinator, and the entire defensive culture has changed at Michigan.
Yeah, and Xavier Simpson, perfect guy. He's a lot like Higgins. He can disrupt, he can steal. There you go, Laura.
Laura just picks the pocket of Washington, almost gave it back, but slowly but surely, Louisville is creeping back into this game. Kentucky's gone better than 4 minutes since they made their last field goal.
They have to get Jordan Wara going on the offensive end. That was a step forward defensively, but he's got to score. They can't score enough points without him putting points on the board to win.
Washington wins the 50-50 battle with Enoch.
Boy, Jay, you're so right. It feels like there's a bunch of guys that are just okay offensively for Louisville, and one really good one. That's Warren. They're not using the really good one.
30-second timeout on the floor. 9-point lead, Kentucky here in Louisville.
Tyler Hero has been just that, a hero for Kentucky in the first half of this game. His offense has been excellent, but his defense has been even better. He's an excellent shooter, but has proven that he's got more than just a jump shot. Terrific shot fake, 1 dribble and goes up straight, knocks it down, gets the relocation pass from inside, is ready to shoot when the ball arrives, but defensively, he has been all over the place. A block, a steal, making catches more difficult. He's been the player of the game thus far.
Boy, Johnson can get into the lane seemingly effortlessly as he banks one home and gets the lead back into double digits now for the Cats.
Well, he's got a complete game. He leads Kentucky in scoring, 3-point shooting, 3-point field goals made, and he can play at both ends of the floor. Long-armed, and he doesn't need the ball to play. You don't have to run a bunch of plays for him.
A great motor. Cunningham looks for help, finds McMahon, still 10 to shoot. Hero right in his grill. Cunningham, corner 3.
Louisville just keeps plugging. They keep hanging in there.
What a big 48 seconds this feels like, doesn't it? If Louisville can get a stop and a score.
Absolutely.
Hero drives and scoops it up and in. He's got 14.
Well, smart play. Nobody jumped in front. Everybody just reaching.
About a 5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
And here's where Kentucky, if they get a stop and a score, can stretch this out.
Enoch begging for the ball, being guarded by Richards. 10 on the shot clock. King with a drive, blocked from behind. Numbers for Kentucky. Hero for 3. Now time for Louisville. Wara slams it home.
Little bit of a rookie mistake by Tyler Hero, shooting too quickly. And Louisville, that can get Jordan Wara started. What a huge play to end the first half.
The dunk by Wara makes it an 8-point game. Dan Dakich is with John Calipari.
All right, Coach, what'd you think?
We showed how young we are. Left the corner man, Manuel quickly, gave him a 3, and shoot a quick 3 with 9 seconds to go. I'm going to give him a breakout dunk. That's young guys.
How about Hero?
Playing good, except that shot. He just, one, we probably shouldn't have thrown it to him because you knew he was going to shoot it, but kids are fighting. That's all I want. Just fight.
Good luck.
Both teams are fighting. Both coaches are fighting. Rivalry game between Kentucky and Louisville. Here at the KFC Yum Center. The early shot displeasing Coach Cal. Wara with a slam at the other end, and John Calipari said, "What are we doing?" Back to the studio, Chris Connor, Seth Greenberg. Heading to the second half here at Louisville. It's an 8-point game, rivalry game, big one. Kentucky and Louisville. Kentucky had a double-digit lead for several minutes towards the end of the first half, but a little run at the end by the Cardinals has made it closer. Hi again, everybody. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Dan Dakich in a moment. Pretty significant last minute of play in that first half.
Well, Louisville had an opportunity, or excuse me, Kentucky had an opportunity to really stretch the lead out to 12, 13, at least 10. Instead, it's 8 because it wasn't well handled by Kentucky at the end, and Jordan Wara got that dunk, and maybe that gets him going. A couple things have to happen. Louisville has to keep Kentucky out of the paint. Kentucky had 20 paint points in that first half, and I think Louisville's got to get Jordan Wara going. They are not going to win this game with him scoring only 5 points.
Dan Dakich got some thoughts from Chris Mack at halftime.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to the coach. He said 2 things. Number 1, 4 offensive rebounds coming out of timeouts have really hurt them. They only have given up 5 offensive rebounds, but 4 of them, in Coach Mack's opinion, have hurt them. And the second thing, it's something to watch for. Watch where Louisville starts their offense. Chris Mack said they were starting the offense 10 feet away from where they should have been starting the offense. So you're going to see Louisville, I would imagine, take the ball in quicker to start offense closer to the top of the key.
Yeah, Dan, we saw Tyler Hero really doing a great job of getting in passing lanes to extend the catch, force it further out on the floor, further out on the sideline. And you just have to be tougher in making your cuts to get open.
They've been drifting, Jay, just like right there. Cunningham just drifted out to get the basketball. Look how far out he is.
Pull up from the elbow. Louisville scores at the end of the first half. Louisville scores to start the second half.
That's that silent run that you can get going. And right now, Kentucky has to believe that's on them more than it's on Louisville.
Well, what a good game Cunningham has had. He leads the Cardinals with 12. Nowhere to go for Johnson. It's a tie-up. The arrow keeps it at this end of the floor.
Nice job by Sutton to jump in front and put his chest right on Keldon Johnson. Kept his hands off him, put his chest on him, then came down on the ball.
Jay, Chris Mack was just yelling at Perry to get in the gap earlier. In fact, he made a little jump, a little jump to the ball move so that their gap was there and it wouldn't be a foul, it would be a kick out.
Well, that's been an adjustment for these Louisville players, is to jump to the ball, and they call it jump and swipe.
Enoch down with the rebound off the miss by Johnson, and Louisville can get even closer. Cunningham fouled by Washington on the drive before the shot.
Well, you can see how much more resolute Louisville is to get the ball into the paint, to turn the corner, get downhill. and especially when you're being guarded by a bigger defender. Get low, use your leverage, and get into him.
Let me ask you, Jay, the consensus is that this is a, quote, rebuilding year for this Louisville program, and a lot of people feel they're a little bit ahead of schedule. Do you agree with that?
Well, your schedule is always going to change.
Boy, Wara missed a follow that would have made it a 4-point game.
A good attack of the closeout by Tyler Hero.
And a terrible closeout, though, Jay. I mean, just a terrible closeout by Cunningham. He came out there just to hang out. He didn't come down in a stance. He didn't come down in a pack line type mentality and gave it up.
Now a block by Travis, and he saves it to Hero. Hagans crosses over, and a goaltending call on Enoch extends the lead for Kentucky.
Let me show you what I'm talking about here. There's Cunningham right there. He just kind of comes out. He's playing. Now he just kind of walks out. Sloppy. Doesn't get to the inside foot. Doesn't get in a stance. Short and choppy feet. And when you come out with an inside foot extended, the driver is taught to drive right over top of that foot and go to the rim.
But the difference is, Dan, that came in transition. That comes in a half-court 5-on-5. You're more likely to be locked in. That's why you want to get the ball as an offensive team up court quickly so you can attack in transition where guys are less likely to be fundamentally sound.
Cunningham misses the three. Hero down with a rebound. Hero is 5 for 5 inside the arc today. 2 for 4 on three-pointers. A game-high 16.
Well, he's got that shot credibility. Good angle inside by Reed Travis.
That's just a big, strong guy being a big, strong guy down low.
Playing volleyball around the rim. I'm not sure whether he or Enoch got it in.
Well, what has Travis meant? The size and strength down low, and just the experience that he brings to an otherwise young Kentucky team. Washington got a piece of it, but it's out of bounds to Louisville.
What Reed Travis brings is a grown man who's mature, knows how to play, and he's changed his game as well. I think when he got here, the consensus was, well, Reed Travis is a below-the-rim big guy. But he has been playing above the rim of late. And I think actually being in this Kentucky program where you got to play above the rim just to survive in practice has helped change Reed Travis's approach. Like, he's already blocked more shots this year than he blocked in his entire career up to this year.
How different are they than they were when they were blown out by Duke at the beginning? Did it take them a while, in your opinion, to psychologically bounce back from that game?
Yes. I mean, I think that Duke game was the equivalent of being in a car crash. And it took them a while to get over it, but they're starting to punch back now. And I think they're a totally different team than they were a month ago, and I think they're going to continue to get better. And this guy with the ball, Keldon Johnson, number 3, is one of the big reasons. Like, he is a star.
Hagans passes up the 3, back to Hero. Still 8 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson with a drive, and a reach-in foul on Sutton will be his 3rd.
Well, right on cue, Keldon Johnson on the ball reversal. The quick rip and go. And he's been shooting the ball so well from the perimeter. Boy, there was all ball there. That's obviously a difficult call because it happened so fast, but that was house of leather.
And you can tell, those of you watching at home, that the crowd just saw the replay here inside the arena, and you can tell how they feel about it.
I don't think they liked it, Dan.
Nope. It's a good call, Doc.
Hey,
11-point lead. Yes, sir.
One thing you're seeing, and you guys were talking about the Duke game, and this is where Kentucky struggles a little bit. If their shots aren't going, then they go inside to Travis, and they're not as free-flowing when they do that. What Louisville's going to do is they are going to take Hagans' man, and he is going to be the doubler, and they're going to dare Hagans to shoot it. They did it last possession. Something to watch for on the other end.
And he passed it up. E.J. Montgomery is back into the game. A 6'10 freshman from Fort Pierce, Florida. Ball's loose, bounces out to Enoch. Shot clock's at 12. Perry's open. And Johnson down with it for the Cats.
You know, Keldon Johnson plays so hard. And he's one of these two-way players that can really score. He plays a lot like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist from a motor perspective, but he's a better offensive player than Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was. He's not a better player overall. I'm not saying that. But he's a better offensive player.
King thinking about it, misses the 3.
What a rebound.
Wara back up strong.
What a rebound.
to 10, and many in the crowd standing now here in Louisville.
Kentucky lifting up this Louisville defense. Everybody free throw line extended and above.
Travis left hand, no. Cunningham navigating his way down the court. Look out as he got Higgins in the air, and a foul called on Higgins.
These shot fakes will get flybys and fouls. Terrific play by Cunningham in transition, but watch this rebound by Jordan Nwora. Just wanted it more and led to a bucket. Louisville scrapping to hang in.
Well, here's an idea of what a visiting player sees when he takes a free throw in hostile territory. And you can see the Louisville fans trying to make it as tough on Keldon Johnson as possible. Dan Dakich tells us more.
Well, a lot of fans are telling me I'm number one right here as I'm standing here, which is kind of cool. I've always wanted to do this. Like, you see the crowd, and there's a bunch of people yelling, and it's behind, and you see the crowd booing. But when you're shooting a free throw, you look straight up at the basket. You don't even see any of that. And this goes back to the 70s. When UCLA and Notre Dame played, and announcers used to say, look what they're shooting into. Well, the truth of the matter is, you don't see any of that. You just see the rim. And thanks to all the Louisville students for telling me I'm number one.
Boy, what a buzzkill Dan Dakich is. I mean, these guys are working their tails off, and he just told them it doesn't matter.
I'm not sure you're picking up what they're trying to tell you with that number one thing, but we can talk about it later. By the way, let me ask you a question, Doc. Do you know what your career free throw percentage was at IU?
I'll say somewhere in the 60s. It wasn't great, Dan.
Somewhere in the 60s is correct, 66. But in your defense, as a senior, 74.
That was, well, I was going to say 3 out of 4, but
10-point lead, Kentucky. Nwora, and Washington got a piece of it. Still Louisville ball.
Boy, Washington has done a great job on Jordan Nwora.
Around and out on the three. Nwora runs down another offensive rebound, but it's out of bounds to the Cats.
Give P.J. Washington a ton of credit, because Jordan Nwora is one of the hottest players in the country, and he is legit. Jordan Nwora is really, really good. And for the most part, P.J. Washington has taken him out of this game, at least from being a 25-point, 20-point scorer.
Talked to John Robick before the game, and they were nervous. They were nervous that maybe Nwora would get P.J. Washington into foul trouble. But, Jay, he's used his length, and he's been smart about it. Really smart.
Hero's pass beyond the reach of Washington.
That wasn't so smart.
As we mentioned, number 2, Michigan, undefeated. They host Penn State Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN and the ESPN app. Back into conference play for the Big Ten. They played a couple of games. Everybody did in that league at the beginning of December.
Got a switch. Reed Travis on Cunningham. Too much dribbling in one spot. Not enough passing.
Cunningham trying to create. Leans in, forces it up, can't get it to go. Follow, no. What a foul.
Looked like they got Reed Travis underneath. Very fortunate there for Louisville. Not their best offensive possession. Movement, passing, not as good, but able to make something out of it with the offensive rebound.
So from a Kentucky perspective, 3 on Travis, 3 on Higgins.
You just got a very good look at Chris Mack, who I think has done a spectacular job with this Louisville program under really difficult circumstances. His assistant, Dino Gaudio, former ESPN colleague of ours, spent years with the great Skip Prosser at Xavier, also Wake Forest.
Yeah, I don't know how many people, if you had told them a few months ago Chris Mack is going to put together one of the top recruiting classes in the nation for 2019, I don't know how many people would have believed that. Having to overcome, the scandals and everything that's gone on around this program in the last couple of years, but he's got a lot of good players. 5 top 100s coming in next year. Higgins back in for Kentucky.
Cunningham playing way off of Higgins, just daring him to shoot the ball.
Washington cradles it up and in. No basket. Pat Driscoll says no basket. The foul before the shot.
This is where VJ King needed to come over all the way to stop that drive. Once Washington was inside the three-point line, you can't just step and reach. You got to come stop that drive. Cunningham just clogging up the lane and paying no attention to Higgins and his ability to shoot it.
What a great pass from Washington to Montgomery.
Great pass, great catch, and how about the finish by E.J. Montgomery? John Calipari saying today he's got to find a way to get Montgomery more minutes. Terrific move and a great pass. The rotation just couldn't get there. But Montgomery with a really nice catch, the ball over his head, and then see how he kept his eyes up. You know, your eyes make layups. Dan Doggett like said, put your chin on the rim. It's the same point. Keep your head up. And what a terrific finish by Montgomery. He's got a chance to be a really, really good player.
For Washington, his second assist today. In the game last week against North Carolina, Washington had 8 assists, almost had a triple-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists in a win over the Tar Heels.
Yeah, he's been really good in this game, but it hasn't been his scoring, it's been his defense. Yeah, he could wind up, in a way, being player of the game for Kentucky without regard to scoring, because he's taken Jordan Nwora for the most part totally out of this game.
Ryan McMahon back in for Louisville. Williams trying to muscle his way inside, and a foul called on Montgomery for lowering those arms.
Well, Williams got away with a walk. He shuffled his feet before he picked up that foul. We can go back and see this. You can see he shuffled, and the referee just didn't see it. But E.J. Montgomery is so long-armed. Anytime you're under the basket, you know, you got to go straight up. You also have to jump. If you don't jump, they're not going to give you that.
Williams and Stephen Enoch kind of splitting the time in the middle for Louisville. Williams is a 6'11" sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and actually probably a little bit more comfortable facing up on the perimeter than posting up inside.
Yeah, he would rather be shooting the ball from the perimeter than posting up with his back to the basket. He can do both, but he prefers being outside.
1 of 2.
Well, for Louisville, a little 1-3-1 look right now. Jordan Nwora out top, the 1-3-1 zone, just try to switch things up. The ball has to go to the baseline and attack in the corners, because Malik Williams got to run corner to corner. And that's a lot of ground to cover.
The reason they're doing this, Dino Gaudio said he went back to when John Wall and Kentucky shot 2 of 28 or whatever it was in the regional final, and it was all against a 1-3-1, and Louisville has this in their back pocket. If they give up 2 buckets, they're getting out of it, he said.
Well, they missed a couple of threes.
And the difference was Devin Ebanks was at the top of that. West Virginia 1-3-1.
King got his own miss and then turned it over to Washington.
And they missed a foul because he got hit hard grab.
Johnson from Washington. And there's a decent number of people from Big Blue Nation here in Louisville today, and now it's that group that's on its feet.
Got to switch now.
Nwora, a little bit too strong. Great rebound, Montgomery, giving Kentucky some good minutes with Travis on the bench.
Had numbers.
And Kentucky wins the battle for the 50-50 ball. Boy, that's what Louisville should have had.
VJ King had that ball.
A little unorganized. If they keep somebody in the left corner, they'll get a shot from the left corner.
Louisville staying in the 1-3-1. Quickly, Johnson. Another long rebound down to Kentucky. Baker for 3.
Kentucky just seems like they've been in a hurry on the last couple possessions. They're getting the shots they want, but they seem hurried. Well, you really have to attack these switches quicker.
Nwora deep in the corner, misses the 3. And quickly with a good rebound between 3 Louisville defenders, and he's eventually fouled.
Kentucky off its defense, able to generate some offense and get the ball on a great lob to Keldon Johnson. P.J. Washington, a big guy running the break. And Kentucky turning defense into offense. And in the KFC Yum Center, blue is enjoying the view.
Almost 25 years, Kentucky and Louisville met in the Elite Eight in 1983 in what became known as the Dream Game. Kentucky was up 7 at the half, but Louisville roared back, forced overtime, and won it in overtime, 80-68. To advance to the Final Four. They were led by Lancaster Gordon, who had 24 points in the game and is in the house tonight here at the KFC Yum Center.
Lancaster Gordon was a stud. Those were back in the Doctors of Dunk period. We actually played, when I was a player, played that Louisville team that year. And watching those guys take off and dunk was awe-inspiring.
We played the Kentucky team the game before. We were #1 in the country. They had Bowie, they had Turpin. We lost Ted Kitchell. And, I mean, people don't understand how good Melvin Turpin really was. I mean, he played in the league for a long time and unfortunately passed away way too soon.
Hero having himself an afternoon. He's got 19.
A terrific penetrating move by Keldon Johnson, getting the ball into the middle and pitching it back out. That's what set up that catch-and-shoot opportunity for Tyler Hero, who has been spectacular all game long. In a game where offense has been tough to find, Tyler Hero has generated it. But he's got to thank Keldon Johnson for creating that shot for him.
And you got to give Calipari credit. I mean, you said it. Look at 2 penetrations, the ball back, wide open shot. That's out of a timeout. Cal got him really comfortable against the 1-3-1 when they didn't look so much or so comfortable earlier.
Yeah, not going too fast on that.
Yeah.
That was a really good attack.
Nice.
Great move.
A lot of circle action right there, Jay, out of the timeout. Wara went up, went around, got in front of the basket, laid it in.
Well, it's amazing how when guys are guarding the ball out of bounds, all you got to do is keep it out of the middle.
Right.
Let it go to the short side of the floor.
Nope, no attention paid whatsoever to that.
Louisville staying in the 1-3-1. Johnson just forces up a prayer.
I think he thought he could get the same thing as he did before and went in looking to pass, got to take it away.
Mid-range jumper goes down for Cunningham, and again, every time it feels like Kentucky's ready to deliver a potential knockout punch, Louisville creeps back into it. 11-point game.
Kentucky leading by 11. Take a look at Ashton Hagans here. He's going to be guarding the ball out of bounds. His sole job is to keep the ball out of the middle. And you don't want to let this thing get underneath. And so he's going to be jumping to the sideline instead of staying and protecting the middle. And as he jumps to the sideline, that opens the middle and allows that little drop-off pass to Jordan Wara. Your job is to make the ball go to the short side of the floor. Don't let it come underneath the basket. And a rookie mistake by Ashton Hagans, who's playing his butt off and playing hard. But you have to play disciplined as well.
Kentucky with the ball and an 11-point lead as we near the midway part of the second half here. Dan Shulman, Jay Billis, Dan Dockich here to Louisville for this big rivalry game between the Wildcats and the Cardinals. Hagans kicks it. Johnson, 3. Boy, Kentucky's getting some pretty good looks against the 1-3-1, but they're not making them.
But they really only have one shooter on the floor, so there's nobody in the corners. So 1-3-1 zone, you have to put guys in the corners, because right now Stephen Enoch, number 23, big guy, 6'10", he's got to cover both corners. And so if you can put a shooter in the corner, all of a sudden you can get a 3-point shot there or a shot fake and drive and really open things up. But instead you're pitching the ball back, and right now Tyler Hero and Keldon Johnson are really the only 2 shooters on the floor.
Jay, they had a wide open look on the baseline, and Montgomery did not even look at the basket. To your point, he would have been, he was as wide open as you can be against a 1-3-1 at 10 feet.
See if Louisville can get McMahon open for his shot. Staying on him is Hagans.
Where's Dwayne Sutton been in this game?
Hasn't taken a shot. Enoch strong inside. They need more of that.
Nobody came to double. One-on-one in the post, the most difficult thing to guard in basketball.
And Hagans will quiet him. As you guys have been saying, they've been daring him to shoot, and he knocks it down.
That'll break your heart right there. That sat the entire bench down in Louisville. It's like, this is our plan, and he drilled it.
Long 2. Well, Hero really doing a good job defensively. Switched out.
Oh, yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
Hero doing it at both ends. Hagens all the way down and lays it in.
Well, give that credit to Tyler Hero, and that was well before he wound up getting the steal. That was from the very start where he extended the catch of Ryan McMahon all the way out on the perimeter. That was just beautiful defense by the freshman. This is more the end of the play. Early on, he'd made a really good extend of the catch by McMahon, then switched off onto Cunningham and was able to steal that ball, turning defense into offense. And Ashton Hagens, first the jumper, then the bucket in transition, and Kentucky's starting to move this out a little bit.
And you can see the potential on this team. Hagens becoming a big factor defensively in the last few games. Hero starting to make shots. Terrific tandem down low of Washington and Travis. Still a work in progress. But as John Calipari himself said just a couple of days ago, they're a totally different team than they were 2 weeks ago. And he's hopeful they'll be a totally different team 2 weeks from now than they are today. He thinks there's a lot more upside for this group.
I'll give you a guy. I think E.J. Montgomery is the guy that if he comes on like he showed in spurts, he could be a total difference maker for Kentucky on the back line, give them something that they do not have right now. Kind of a Sam Perkins going back to the day.
Well, with this roster, Dan, I think they can have a different difference maker each game. They've got so many different weapons.
Like you kind of wait for Quickly. You know, Quickly can get the ball in the bucket. Different guy than Hagens on the point.
You see they go into conference play beginning with their next game down in Tuscaloosa. JU and I will be there for that game 1 week from today.
Well, another really good job by Tyler Hero.
Wow, deep one from Sutton.
Sutton seems frustrated. But Hero did a good job to dig the ball out of the post and then recover to Sutton.
And they've come out of the 1-3-1. Gamble by Wara. Open is Hagens. Hero finds Washington with 5 on the shot clock.
Did he bury him? Wow.
What do you like better, the seal or the post feed?
Oh, I liked them both, but I'll tell you what. Travis went in and buried Enoch on the post, and Enoch not used to that. He's a mountain.
Every time there's a ball reversal, Reed Travis is going to duck in.
The answer from Wara.
The question right now is, can Louisville get stops? It is not enough to trade baskets.
Hagens wants a ball screen.
Got to switch. They just lob it up. Washington was wide open.
Travis. And 2 Cardinals battle for the rebound, and coming out of there is Perry.
Need a good shot here. Can't force anything. Can't rush.
4. Got it back. And draws a foul.
As the shot clock was winding down, Kentucky reverses the ball from left to right. A beautiful duck in and a hard duck in by Reed Travis, and a terrific pass by Emmanuel Quickly. A little bit of an answer, but right now Kentucky with a double-digit lead.
Well, you're due. You're due, Chris. What do you think, Jay? Which underdog has a better chance to pull off an upset?
Notre Dame. Well, Oklahoma, because they've got Kyler Murray. But I don't see either one of them doing it. I think we're going to see Clemson and Alabama again.
Dockage, what do you think?
I like Notre Dame. I've liked Notre Dame all year. Dexter Williams is fast. Boykin is a wide receiver, is terrific. I've liked them all year. I just think they're athletic. Ian Book, tough kid. And then I like Alabama. I think Alabama's got way too much on both ends.
I think both Alabama and Clemson are going to be able to run the ball. And that's going to be a key for Alabama. Can they run it and keep Kyler Murray on the sidelines? Because if that dude's on the field, he's putting points up.
College football playoff semis coming your way on ESPN. 10-point game, 6:20 to go here in Louisville.
Good drive.
Hagens, not there. Oh, and Perry's pass pass was picked off, and Hagen's shaking his head at him as he caught the ball and dribbled it back the other way. As if, don't do that to me.
Well, I don't know who he was throwing it to, because Stephen Enoch wasn't looking. So it would have been a turnover either way.
That's what I said at the beginning of the broadcast. He had 8 steals in the North Carolina game in 8 different ways. He gets them all over the floor.
Well, last night in the hotly contested managers game, this is a big rivalry as well, Kentucky was down 27 and roared back on this 3 by Barrett Boska at the closing horn to beat Louisville.
But what about the pass? Splitting the double team, and you know the passer never gets the credit. So what a great shot by Boska.
What a great head of hair on Boska.
I'm jealous of anybody with hair. But
all 3 of us are.
Boska makes the game winner and still has to run the scout team today at practice at 8 a.m.
No respect. P.J. Washington is fouled. He was pretty low-key about it. We talked to him about it at shoot-around early this morning. He was kind of downplaying it a little bit.
Well, Barrett Boska's taking the long view, Dan. He thinks they can be a different manager team a month from now than they are now, because they're a different manager team now than they were a month ago.
More defined roles, toughness, togetherness.
Well, you can't say enough about the game that P.J. Washington has played. He's only got 4 points, but he's been on the glass. He's been passing the ball well, but the defensive job that he's done on Jordan Nwora, everything has been difficult for Nwora in this game. Nwora is the type of player that can get 30 in any given game. He's been averaging 20 over his last 5 and shooting lights out.
13 today, but he's had to work hard for it.
Yeah, right now Keldon Johnson on him. Give P.J. Washington a little bit of a break.
Man, I mean, Enoch just hit Travis in the jaw. Travis didn't flinch.
Cunningham the kick. Sutton deep in the corner. Misses the 3 and another rebound for Hero.
Well, Louisville's had open shots. They just haven't knocked anything down. And sooner or later, if you're not putting the ball in the basket, it is going to affect your defense. You cannot play shutout basketball.
And Hero at the other end knocks down yet another one. What a game for this young man.
Cannot go under on Tyler Hero. You try to shortcut him, he's going to pull up with that length and shooting ability, and it'll be the old fish in a barrel thing.
Jay, watch that. He does. Cunningham just goes underneath, right there.
You're done. Absolutely done.
D-U-N.
Your manager's low-key in it. Like, Barrett's been there, done that.
Right, but they're thinking next play. They got to get right. Stools out on the floor.
Sitting there saying, I didn't see any of you guys cheering for me when I drilled a game winner.
What was that? See, they're ready to go. Nobody works harder than basketball managers.
Jay, you and I say it all the time, that if you're going to hire somebody, you hire a basketball manager. I don't care whether it's Kentucky, High Point, doesn't matter. These guys are ready. Chairs are ready. Shoulders in front of their feet, hands above their elbows.
First one's in the gym, last one's out.
And we're giving a lot of love, obviously, to the Kentucky managers, but you should have seen the organization of gum yesterday by the Louisville managers. It was by far the best I've ever seen. Back to the 1-3-1 now for Louisville.
Every team has like a gum guy to make sure the head coach has the right gum.
See, now Hero in the corner. Good pass.
Good position.
And Travis fouled by Enoch. ESPN Plus is home to thousands of live events. You can watch over 2,500 college basketball games alone, plus original series like Earn Everything, an all-access look at Duke basketball. Sign up now by downloading the ESPN app or visit ESPNplus.com. Points hard to come by in the second half, especially for Louisville. They've got just 48 in the game. In the second half, the Cardinals are shooting just 22%, 4 for 18, and they're 0 for 8 from three-point range.
And Kentucky mixing in their offense, getting the ball inside. I mean, they're punching it inside and making it really difficult for Louisville. I mean, sooner or later, those are like body blows in a boxing match, and it's gonna put you out at some point. And the paint has been dominated by Kentucky, and that's why Kentucky's got the lead in this game, because they have won the battle of the paint.
Sutton with a runner not there, runs it down, kicks it out. And then Aurora lost the handle, and it's Kentucky ball.
Another 50-50 ball that Kentucky comes away with.
Inside 4 minutes to play, 13-point lead for the Wildcats.
Kentucky showing pretty good patience here. Moving the ball from side to side. They're going to give the defense a chance to make another good duck in, but steal.
Cunningham draws the foul with the other end. Will be at the free throw line when we come back. Timeout on the floor. That means it's time for the managers to take center stage on both ends of the court.
I don't know. Kentucky's got theirs out first.
Welcome back to Louisville with Jay Billis, Dan Dockich. I'm Dan Shulman. Happy holidays to you and yours, wherever you may be. Kentucky, very impressive on the defensive end. A lot of toughness, sharing the basketball. Louisville unable to make some open looks today. And it's a 13-point lead for the Wildcats with under 4 minutes to play.
Well, Louisville has hung in there on the glass, but they've not been able to keep Kentucky out of the paint, both off the drive and pounding the ball inside to the big guys. And Louisville cannot make an open shot. If there's going to be a press and Louisville's going to make a run, it has to start now.
And can't leave points on the line either.
Well, I really respect the job that Chris Mack and his staff have done with this team. I mean, Louisville has been competitive in every single game. And you can make an argument. The game they lost at Indiana on that buzzer shot.
Whoa, no.
Well, that's a miss there. That was a turnover.
This is going on the block.
Kickball by McMahon. Let's take a look at what happened down at the other end.
On the inbound, Keldon Johnson bringing the ball in. Both he and Ashton Higgins, they never got out of bounds, and he passed it in. And the referee said, look, there was no play made. There was no defense on it. I don't know. That just looked bad.
Shot clock at 10. Higgins with a drive.
That's a straight blow by. Cunningham again lifted up for just a split second. Higgins stayed low and blew by him.
When you keep the ball in the middle of the floor, that can help eliminate help. That was a really beautiful move by Higgins.
Yet another block by the Wildcats, and for P.J. Washington, it's his 4th of the game.
He has been terrific all game long. This will not go down as a big-time scoring game for P.J. Washington, but it was a big-time performance.
Higgins uses the screen again. Boy, Kentucky just executing really, really well here down the stretch.
This is the Kentucky team that I think we all expected to see from the start of the year. I think it's pretty clear that Kentucky has recovered from its early season loss, and now they're looking to deliver punches every time they play.
First true road game of the season. None of the players on the Kentucky team had ever played here. And they start off conference play on the road in Tuscaloosa 1 week from today. Travis the kick. Hero, the freshman with a season-high 22, a rare miss there, and it's Cardinal ball.
You know, Jay, you've been talking about Hero. We've been talking about Hero and P.J. Washington as he gives up a three-point play. Hero is going to have, as you said, a career high, but he has played as good a floor game, as good a defensive game, as good of a scouting game that P.J. Washington has, and he scored in the 20s. This has been a terrific game by those two guys.
No question. And Tyler Hero has been a two-way player in this one. Absolutely.
Sports Center tonight after the Orange Bowl on ESPN with SVP. He'll have post-game reaction and analysis from Miami, plus his take on the national championship game. Also, the Warriors looking to end their two-game road losing streak. They are in Portland tonight. Sports Center with SVP after OU and Alabama on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Well, you can't emphasize enough the play of Ashton Hagans and how that has changed this Kentucky team. And we've said it before. We talk about guys having a breakout game on the offensive end. Well, he had his breakout defensively, and that's led to better offense on his part. And it is remindful a little bit. They're not the same player of what we saw last year with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, I think that Gilgeous-Alexander was a little bit ahead of Ashton Hagans in his development, but still, I mean, we talked about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and what he could do on the defensive end, and then his offense followed that. And I don't think Hagans is as good of an offensive player, but still, he has been a huge impact on this Kentucky team and how it's developed.
And when you have so many young players, roles maybe not as defined or more fluid early on in the season, and Gilgeous-Alexander takes over for Green after Green was injured last year, and Hagans really has taken some of the minutes away from quickly in the last couple of weeks.
Dan, that's what I think it is. I think Quade Green leaving really opened it up for Hagans. He doesn't have to worry or wonder anymore. He is the guy. He's got the ball in his hands. And, you know, Jay, your old coach, Coach Cade, never uses 13 scholarships. I mean, he may have 8 guys on scholarship. It's just easier to manage as long as the players are good enough, which these guys obviously are.
It does feel like the roles have come into focus a lot more in the last couple of weeks for Kentucky.
Just a comfort. Yep. There's a comfort that Hagans has.
Full court pressure now from Louisville. They're face guarding everything.
Just throw it up.
Quickly and Johnson in the backcourt. Quickly gets it over. So Hagans not in the game right now. Quickly at the point, along with Johnson and Hero on the perimeter, and a steal by Warren, and he's fouled by Quickly.
Well, there's no question that was a foul, but those are the calls you hate, because that was a bucket at the other end. And unless there's blood, you're like, let that thing go. You can always late call that one.
Or have some sort of like a clear path situation like the NBA has?
Well, that'd be a rule change, and I think it'd be a good one. Yeah. But just to me, there wasn't enough contact to call that. You can always call that late.
Louisville now 11 for 17 from the free throw line. They came into the game today shooting 77% as a team from the line, one of the best marks in the country.
Yeah, Kentucky in their game plan. Both these teams, as you mentioned, shoot a ton of free throws. And both teams have played pretty well without fouling and didn't make the free throw line an emphasis.
Warwick comes up with a steal but can't finish. And now a Louisville foul.
I thought Warren got hit as he was going up to lay it in. There's a good call on the foul putting Johnson on the line, but boy, I thought there was contact right here in front of me.
And Darius Perry having words with Ashton Hagans right now. P.J. Washington steps in between them.
John Calipari right now getting on Ashton Hagans. And just play.
You know how coaching has changed, Jay and Dan? We were at a shoot-around today. John Calipari did not say one swear word.
There's the jawing back and forth between Perry and Hagans, and Washington, I guess the veteran presence as a sophomore, he got in the middle there and got Hagans, the freshman, out of there, and then John Calipari with his 2 cents.
Now, you gave 2 cents 30 years ago. Now it's 7 mil.
Cunningham. Yes. Still 12-point game, though, and precious seconds ticking away for Louisville.
And now it's about being strong with the ball and getting to the line, making the free throws. Good
decision by Hero. inside the final minute on the heels, no pun intended, of their win over North Carolina last week. Now for Kentucky to come on the road and do this here in Louisville. Pretty good couple of games. Pretty good performances for the Wildcats.
Really good performance by Kentucky, and fitting that Tyler Hero would score because, as Dan Dockett just pointed out, he played an outstanding game at both ends of the floor.
Cunningham with a three, and Chris Mack will use a timeout with 37 seconds to go.
Boy, through this game, and you mentioned, Dan, that this is the first true road game that this young Kentucky team has played. You're getting a very good view of not only what Kentucky is right now, but what the Wildcats can be. And this can be as good as any team in the country.
And we look forward to seeing them again 1 week from today down in Tuscaloosa as they open up SEC play against Alabama. First year here as the head coach at Louisville for Chris Mack. New home, new digs, and a pretty cool basement here as his wife Christy has provided some pictures. Got the red billiard table, but maybe the highlight, forget the Miss Pac-Man, although that's the highlight for me, the picture of Jay Billis on the wall. What are we doing?
Hey, if you want to make it a wall of fame, that's where you got to go. I just think the haircut is spectacular. Chris Mack looks beautiful in that photo.
I don't think you can compare haircuts until you really go the distance on that. I need a 0 up there.
I'm afraid to. I don't want to surrender completely.
My favorite part is Chris Mack looked like he startled himself in a selfie, which is hard to do.
Well, there's a great article on ESPN.com by Jeff Borzello on Chris Mack and how what a family man he is, in addition to being a great coach. And he's really done a great job with this Louisville program under difficult circumstances. And the future is looking nothing but up for Louisville under Chris Mack.
Again, great recruiting class coming in next year for Louisville, but they'll take the loss today to fall to 9-4. Kentucky will make it 10 wins in 12 games in this rivalry. Going back over the last 11 years, actually, as Johnson with the exclamation point with 17 seconds to go. And Big Blue Nation has to be enjoying their team over the holidays. Yep. Another fitting way to end it as Hagans comes up with a steal. A very young team just played a very good game in hostile territory here in Louisville, and they're going to win it by 13. Smiles all around for the Kentucky players and the fans who are here as they beat Louisville 71-58, a season high 24 for the freshman Tyler Hero. A 13-point win on the road for Kentucky. For Jay Billis, Dan Dockett, I'm Dan Schulman. Happy holidays, and hey, enjoy what's coming. We now send you out to Arlington, Texas, the CFP Playoff Semifinal Megacast.